Here we are. It's another Wednesday evening, and we are going to be doing some CNC talking tonight. Our regular Wednesday CNC Hangout tonight. And it looks like the ladies made a topic for us tonight, since I was out of town traveling. We're going to talk about what's the most difficult part of CNC, like the real world difficult part. So it'll be interesting to see what people share. We'll ask about that again. But yeah, so I literally just got back about 3 hours ago from out west. It was went to Washington State to go to a wedding. Then I went down to Oregon to see Richard and Cammie, the two team members of IDC Woodcraft who live out there to keep the website up and running. And then hooked up with brother Mark. So that was very cool. Sitting there chewing the fat with Mark, and it was really cool to get a face to the name. You know, I want to share that picture. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. Share screen. There we go. Look at that. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun sitting there talking to Mark.
Love it.
Yep, talking to Mark and his wife. Really good people. Really good people. All right, let's get that out of there. Mark said it was a great lunch. I'm a fat little old man. I gotta disagree there, Mark. You're not that big. Anyway, what's been going on here at this side of the world, the business and stuff?
I've been sick.
I go away and the ladies take care of everything.
I've been sick.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I've been out sick a lot. So I've been mostly virtual this week. So finally got a few hours in today in the office. So they've been holding down the fort.
Okay. How you feeling now?
I'm recovering. Hand sanitizing lots.
All right. Okay, so it looks like I got a little jet lag. Liberty's got a little energy. All right, we're going to bring Julianne out for a minute, and we'll just Liberty and I will pop off, go to bed. She can run the show.
There we go.
You'll get no answers that are CNC related.
Right.
All glow in the dark topic.
It's like we'll change topics midway. I do got to give it a little shout out because we got gifts this week. So our fella Terry gave us tiny itty bitty miniature framing bars.
That's so cool.
So yeah, with our nice little IDC Woodcraft things, and I gotta say this is the most fitting key ring that I've ever gotten in my life.
Julianne, the boss.
You love it.
So. Oh yeah,
I actually even like that.
It's like a big thank you out to him, and I think there was a couple other gifts that came for you and Liberty while you both were out. So
okay,
yeah, those came in.
Show those
and
off.
were delivered to the office, to my office today. Garrett, they're sitting on my CNC. We've got 3D printed bit holders.
Oh, really?
Like tier, great.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Can't wait to see that.
Name on it and everything.
Wow. Isn't it so cool? People send this stuff to you.
Yeah.
Useful.
The boys come into my office like, there's a gift for you. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, opening up. And honestly, it brightened up my mood quite a bit just with being sick and everything. And it was fun. Yours is, all glued up. You've got your name on it and everything. Mine, they sent 5 different name tags in different colors.
Oh, really?
For the front of mine. I was like, I love that. All the colors.
That's cool. Yeah, and that's cool. Terry sent us a little keyring tramming bars. So Terry is he's a CNC creator, lives in town, and we worked out a little deal for him. He makes our tramming bars for us. You never know what you can kind of work and get doing the CNC stuff. All right. Well, Julianne will be in the background. She'll be watching everything and throwing links in there and all that good stuff. So, folks, let's see. So, yeah, I went to see Mark. I went to see Richard and Cammie. I went to that wedding. It was a kind of a fast-moving trip. So, didn't really get to do any sightseeing or anything like that. But it was nice to drive out in the Pacific Northwest, going from Washington to Oregon and looking at the mountains. And I wanted to move out there, and the only thing that kept me from moving out there was my grandkids, my daughter. But maybe I should just buy a second house out there.
There you go.
Yeah, that means I'd have to do another
snowbird out there.
build another shop out there too.
Well, of course.
Of course, duh, big red truck. That's what that actually that comes a joke my wife told me. I can't remember it, but the ending was something about a fire engine is red and stuff like that. You know, it was kind of a blonde joke, I think, is what it was. So anyway, all right, folks, here's what I want you all to do. So what we're going to talk about tonight is real world CNC as far as what was the most difficult part for you as you got into this journey. And I kind of want to head this off with the idea that when we first look at it on YouTube and we just kind of get excited and we get those filters on our eyes and we just see what we want to see. And so at least for me, it was like, oh, that looks easy. I can just jump right in. That machine will make the parts themselves. All I got to do is sit there and watch it and it'll read my mind. And of course, when we get into it, it's just not that way. But Liberty, you had a little bit of a different entry point with CNC, right? Because you're
yeah,
just experience it right with me. You kind of had me right next to you as you were learning.
Exactly. I got that hands-on experience first without like having to jump into something.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just blindly. It's so we get lots of emails about it. Mark's okay. We'll pop that up.
Yep.
Okay. That's actually a good one. Okay, well here it is.
Mark says most difficult part for me used to be getting the idea out of my head and into the computer.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I one of them. I'm just going to make a note here. One of the things I have found when I was getting into this, so a lot of retirees that never touched a computer or knew very little about a computer, and that was their big fear, and not even the software is a computer. I guess computers just intimidated them, you know. But that's people up in my age bracket, right? And I would say more blue collar kind of folks and whatnot. But
right,
even but even you have to go through your learning curves, right? So what do you think was some of the stuff as you've been getting into it? Well, now you get the shark, right? You're kind of
right.
Liberty's on her own. I'm not. The only thing I helped Liberty on with that was tramming the machine.
Yeah.
Right. But
yep, I had never trammed, and I had never actually seen him tram. So I was like, "Hey, can you come like do this for me / with me?"
Mm-hmm.
Can you hold my hand through this process? He was like, "Yep." But yeah, so it's completely set up. We've done a foam carve. We're gonna do a couple of test carves for some. We'll probably make some shorts out of that just to show y'all, but it won't be anything fancy. We're just playing things out, seeing how they go. I'm trying to design kind of this bigger project, so I need to test a couple of the pieces and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I would say it's one of the biggest things has been a decision fatigue.
It's been what?
Like decision fatigue.
Okay.
So, like I have all these ideas in my head, and I sit down and I'm like, which one do I start on? And sometimes I'll just sit there and just stuck, not able to decide what to start on.
What kind of project you mean, right? How many of y'all can relate to that one? I can certainly relate to that. There's all these ideas in your head that you want to make. And so what do you think stopped you on
I would say sometimes it's well, a lot of times it's a lack of confidence that I'm going to be able to accomplish what's in my head and put it into the software and make the CNC do it, you know.
Okay. That's what Mark just
And
said.
then the other side would be like, can I source the wood for this?
Okay. In what regard with sourcing the wood?
I feel like it's difficult to source wood.
Okay. Well, a lot of people do ask about the wood. So you mean like not your off the shelf Lowe's wood is
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Something not the pine, not the so, you know, just going to lumber yards and finding lumber yards that have more than just, you know, construction timbers,
Mhm.
things like that, like, you know, finding the right sizings, because even once you find somewhere that has like more than just pine, then you run into, well, they're still all cut to like such a smaller standard size. And so it's like, okay, so I'm going to have to do some gluing or some this or some that to make certain things work.
Okay. Yep. I was just thinking about, what Mark just said, and we get this question all the time. So, one place you can go to is Facebook Marketplace.
I've gotten
I've
a lot of my wood.
got a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplaces. People just have their own little sawmills in their yard, and they've cut down a few trees. Or Mark said a free section of Craigslist. Lots of good materials being thrown away. Yes, yeah. People get stuff and they throw it away. That's another one. Is the some shops, and I'm not quite sure what shops, but they have all these like scrap end pieces that they don't need.
Yep.
Right? They make stuff, they produce stuff, and so they just got pieces that they don't need. They're going to burn them or whatever, so they give them away.
Yep. I mean, just a quick scroll, there's quite a bit of just random lumber for fairly cheap.
Mm-hmm.
There's even a gentleman that I've bought off of before that's selling more. So I might have to hit him up and see what else he's got going on. But yeah, so like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. I don't love Craigslist. I don't love Facebook Marketplace either, but it's still,
Yeah, I haven't used
a lot of stuff on there.
Craigslist in eon. Carrie said it too. One of his hardest things was learning what kind of wood to use and where to get it.
See, yep, figuring out what wood to use. I've been deceived by my wood several times on whether it was like soft or hardwood.
Okay. All right. Sometimes if I'm not confident in what I'm going to do, I mean, nowadays I'm pretty confident because I've worked with enough materials. But if you're new, young, what I would say is when it comes to wood, don't try to go exotic first. Play with your cheap stuff. Play with your pine. I mean, pine is going to be really fuzzy, pine or poplar or something like that. Okay, well, let's see what some people are saying. There's a lot of things that are popping up here.
I'm writing down notes of places to get wood.
Are you? Oh, from what?
Yeah. Billy was like back of a cabinet shop. I'm like, oh, well,
Yeah. Do we have any cabinet shops around here?
I have no idea, but I want to find out.
Yeah, we can find. So we're in Madison, so there could be some restoration shops too. All right.
And see, that's the other thing. Mark brings up a good point. He scored 16 solid cherry cabinet doors for free on Craigslist. Furniture that is solid wood can be repurposed into other solid wood things like that you're making or other whatever you're making. Like, you've got nightstands that are falling apart, but they're wood. You can either repair it or take those, full solid pieces and make whatever out of it.
Yeah. Sometimes at the dumpster behind the shop, people they throw away their kitchen tables and stuff that's solid wood. Right. So, yeah, there you go. Even if people are selling a solid wood piece of furniture on Craigslist cheap, there you go. It's a little extra work getting the wood prepared or disassembling it and reconditioning it, getting it ready. But that's another opportunity.
Yeah, sometimes you might have to strip off any sort of ceiling or what have you.
If you go to a cabinet shop, ask them before you start rummaging around. Oh, yeah, well, that's kind of
Of
a good
course,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess people don't do that. Oh, there's another one. Mike said, ask the cabinet shops where to buy some wood from.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this is what you call masterminding, right? It's where you sit down and say, okay, here's what we do and here's what we need to do. So in business, we mastermind a lot, right? What can we do in our business to help our business grow? Right here, this is a different kind of mastermind. All right, let's hit a couple of comments here and see what we can do. Let's see.
All right. Swan, Garrett, and ladies, could you please inform me on how to rerun a toolpath that didn't complete its cut, carving with the long mill MK2 along with GSender?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna I can answer this one. I actually did it. So the video on GSender that I did, that to GSender 101, we're going to link that here. You should be able to go down the timestamps and find a spot where I'm talking about that. Because but I'll show you here. We'll link that video. Julianne will link it. So that means drink, have a drink. Share screen. And first I got GSender up here. Okay, share screen. GSender. Okay. So it's not showing right. Let's see if I can hit connect. Okay, reset. And I'm just going to start the job and stop it if I can get the alarm to reset. I've been away, so the machine's not. Probably has to. Maybe I can get it. Anyway, if it kicks out on you, okay, there we go. If it kicks out on you, like a power drop or something like that, it's recording everything you're doing. And there's this little button right here, right above your start button that says start here. And you select that, and this window is going to pop up, and it's going to say the machine stopped at line number whatever. And it's going to say resume the job at line. It's going to give you a recommendation about 10 lines before. And you can hit start from that line. And what it'll do is it'll turn the spindle on, and it'll position itself over that spot, and then it'll come down, and it'll start resuming from that line. So it's a really cool feature in the GSender control software. So that's how you do it. Okay, Swan, I hope that helped you out.
All right. Tim, anyone out here have any experience with the WeCreate 45W? Good, bad? Would just be a hobby, not a business machine.
Yeah, I don't know what WeCreate is. Maybe 45W. I guess that's 45 watt. I'm not sure if that's a machine or what. I have to look that up. Let's see. WeCreate 45W. Let's see. That's a laser. Okay. Yeah. So anybody out there that works with a laser, maybe you can answer that question. Is it a good laser, bad laser, what? No, would be it just for a hobby or what? Just I can bring that up and just take a quick look at it, and I can tell you maybe my thoughts, or other people can tell their thoughts on it. Actually, it looks like a fairly decent enclosed machine. I have to move this to my other window here. Yeah, all right, there we go. This laser right here. So this looks like it's one of those. What was that other laser that was out there before? This is more of I think it's like a home machine. You probably have seen them a few years ago. I forget what it was called, but they were advertising on the kitchen counter. It's a laser, which is not a good idea because of it's going to burn and it's going to smoke. Burns the wood. All right, let's work past these so we can get to some of these comments of people's hard times that they had.
Sometimes when I import something, there's a box around it that I don't want. How do I get rid of it? There's a box around it that you don't want.
When I import
Like a boundary?
something, yeah, I would say if it's a 2D drawing, you need to ungroup it.
Yeah.
Right, it's probably grouped. So if you have the VECTRIC design software, let me get this thing up here. I'll share screen, and then there we go. And if we go over to this guy right there, so so what I'm gonna do is I'm highlighting everything, and I'm gonna hit the letter G. And now you can see it's all solid lines here, solid purple lines. And so what I want to do is select the items and hit the letter U, and that will ungroup them. And then you can select that box and then delete it, just like that. That was a project I made for the wedding. Oh, you guys saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice project. I forgot to.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, I was reading comments.
Okay.
Mark, hello from Bright, Indiana, I would assume. The long mill is up and running.
Mark. All right. Cool.
Terry, I started this one. Love the new clamps, Garrett.
Love the new clamps. Do we have a delivery date on the next batch? Yeah. Does anybody know? Do we, Julianne? On next batch of those clamps?
Of the kits or of the 4-piece replacement heads?
The kits.
Okay. The kits are still like March, April, but we got more 4-piece replacement heads in today.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're just not in inventory yet.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. Yeah, those clamps, those are the edge hugger clamps, the little tiny clamps. Those are clamps I've been looking for forever. And the story behind it, they approached us. I brought Liberty in. We sat there and looked at them, and both Liberty and I are going, yeah, we want these. We want these. And then the rest is history.
Yeah. All right. I have difficulty solving problems in GSender when something happens.
Well, so let's see. On solving problems in GSender when something happens, that's a really broad kind of statement.
Very vague, very broad.
Yeah.
Like, so, when what happened?
Yeah, there's lots of little things that can happen.
Maybe we can link the GSender 101 video.
Yeah.
And if he has a moment to comment what more he might be looking for, we can elaborate.
Yeah, definitely. Or make another comment and tell us what kind of problems you're having. So
yep, exactly.
I did make a couple notes here. One of the things I found that people struggle with right at the beginning is they do a lot of design work, right? They're making their designs and they're saving them all over their computer. Before they know it, they have no idea where all the designs are. They're very disorganized. Right. And so that's one of the first things is to create yourself a directory right off the bat of where all your designs are going to go. And every file gets its own directory. So I have a master models directory. And in that directory, everything, I actually didn't do this right up front, but it is near up front. And so I'll share real quick.
I need to go back through and clean up mine because I've kind of been lazy about it for a bit. It's not too bad, but it's where it needs just, tightened up. Yep. It can get loosened up really quick. I actually created a second directory because I was starting to, okay, these will be for videos. I was like, that was the worst mistake I ever made was a second place to hold my designs. So, oh no. Yeah. So these are all my design files. And I titled these directories. So some of them are subdirectory, but I title all the top directories so I know generally what it is. Like this one right here is titled furniture. And if I was to go in there, I've only got an Adirondack chair, but at least I can say what is the item that I want to make. It's an Adirondack chair. What is the core thing that it is? It's a piece of furniture. Okay, let's create a directory for furniture.
Or what do I have? Let's see. So this one, Eagle head file, that should be under American flags, right? Because it's got a flag in there. I know exactly what it is. So that was one of my really early ones. And cribbage boards. Okay, so all my cribbage boards are in one directory. But I subdirectory them too. I want to find one that's got a good subdirectory set in here. Animals. There we go. Okay, so here I've got alligator, butterfly, camel. So what I can do is I can go into that main directory too. And I'm here and I don't know what subdirectory I might put it under. The file name itself is telling me, or the directory that is put in is telling me what it is. So if it's butterfly, so I do a search for butterfly, and that will get me organized real quick. Also, and it'll help me find it. So that's one of the things. And it's like Liberty said, she's already getting kind of out of. You're kind of starting to get a little messy there.
Yeah.
It can happen so fast. It's so fast.
So Kyle has popped in.
Hey, Kyle. What's going on there, Kyle, the brother? Yeah, that's another one. I was actually going to bring this up too, and I was thinking of Kyle when I wrote this on my notes. And one of the things is, so for those who don't know who Kyle is, he has the Learn Your CNC VECTRIC Master Course. He's got the only VECTRIC full-blown course out there. And anyway, he said he just did a training this month on cleaning up files on your computer. Saves so much time when you have a clean workspace and when you have a plan, an organization. Totally.
Clean digital workspace counts too.
Yeah. We'll see if we can find that video and we'll link it in the description. But one of the things I think, Liberty, that I used to do, and I know a lot of other people do, where is it? Using YouTube as your training tool, as your main training tool, right? And trusting that it's going to work out really well for you. Do it. I think everybody can raise their hand when you've watched a video on doing something, and then suddenly you get stuck. You're going, how did he just do that? And they're going on, but you're stopped at 15 minutes because you can't figure out what that little thing was that they did. Right. And so this is where I'm saying, this is why, you pay so much for your equipment and there's so much emotional energy going into getting things ready. The tooling, the shop, the decision, the excitement, and then we try to learn the software by ourselves, which is probably the most important aspect of the whole thing. Because if you don't know this, if you don't know the software, then your machine's worthless.
Yep.
So that's why both of us, Liberty and me, constantly say, go get Kyle's course. If you're using the VECTRIC software, get his course, work through it, and folks, you that are in his course, comment on it. For those who are not, we'll link his course here. But he's got a great community too. When these are people that pay to be in his community, and when people are paying for things, you have a much better caliber of group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's right here. Stubbs says Kyle's course is the best investment he's made. You're investing your knowledge. You're investing your skill. That's what we call. if you want to weigh out learning on YouTube and learning in a course that's structured and gets you there, you're buying speed.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
absolutely.
Yep. And what's the
less headache?
Yep. You're selling your frustration. I'm not sure that's the right way to put it, but yeah. So using YouTube as a tool, YouTube is a tool, right? It's not a university, right? If people made videos that were well structured, I know because my videos, the ones that I really structure, they're an hour and a half long because it takes so much thinking, so much time. the 101 video, the CNC 101 video that's I'm going to release in a couple of days. That's like that. So almost 2-hour videos for those folks who are like just getting interested in CNC machine, but they're like, what is it? What's it do? So I go through all all the elements of the machine, the whole process, the process flow. That's another one, is understanding that CNC is a process. And it's a very standard and specific process. From no CNC machine, whether it's routers or anything else, they all follow the same process. There's CAD, which is design. All right. Then there's CAM, which is your toolpath and your G code. And then you have your create side, which is getting into your control software, setting up your machine, setting up your tools, zeroing your bits, loading your G code, and making sure your work holding is set up properly, and you've prepared your material for the process, for the project. And so it's all structure. I'm going to actually create a video that lays that flow out. I talk about it a little bit in this video I'm going to be putting out towards the end. But
awesome.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Okay.
Stubbs' mom, for some reason, I wasn't prepared for the extent of woodworking aspects to CNC. Okay, that explains the other comment I saw earlier. I was like, it's woodworking. I'm like, what do they mean? What do they mean? Yeah.
Well, I think that goes along with the idea of what I did when I got into it, is like, oh, the machine will just make it itself, right? I just kind of, I never thought, it's like, okay, I want to make this. Here's the thing that can do it. But I never thought, oh, there's a whole dotted process in between the idea and getting the project done. Billy said if it wasn't for Kyle's course, he would still be sitting here twiddling his thumbs.
That's what I was about to pop in.
Yep. Folks, if you're trying to learn it on your own, right? I got the video out there. It's like that VECTRIC 101 course, but that just scratches the surface. Literally just scratches the surface. It's just there to get you started, to make that one project. Because I made that because I wanted people to feel like they could accomplish something inside of 2 hours. All right. What's another one, Lib?
All right. Robert said software was the hard thing for him.
Software, okay. Talk about it, Lib. What do you?
I mean, the software is a lot. That's what I spent months studying before I ever touched the CNC, and I still continue to reference back and gain knowledge. And now I'm stepping into the 3D realm, and it's a lot. So yeah, I mean, the software is definitely something, but again, with things like Kyle's course and Garrett's YouTube and Mark's YouTube,
and your YouTube that's kind of up and coming, right? Liberty's starting to, you'll be seeing a lot more Liberty this year.
Other creators, there's definitely, a space to like learn it well. And Kyle's course is the way to learn it well, honestly. Again, just backing it up with other people. But it really just, if you're going to get started right kind of thing. And that's one of the ways to get started right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Kyle's thanking us for the shout out here. And thanking everybody else in the comments.
You deserve it.
Shout out. Yeah, it totally deserves it. Yeah, it's like there's stuff in design. Basically, it's like this. If you don't understand the design process and all the little nuances in there, you're going to get a hang up, and you're not going to know how to backtrack.
Exactly. Even in buying files, you're going to have to end up backtracking.
Yeah.
Billy McGee, I still go back to the course to find stuff I can't remember. Yep. Same. I literally am going back right now and doing like the more advanced stuff again that I'm like stepping into that I kind of just glazed over the first couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Kyle comes on here about once every 2 months. I imagine we got him coming up in another few weeks. Julianne does all the scheduling, so she'll have to tell us when that's coming or when it's happening. Yeah. So yeah, software is where it all starts, folks. And I want to say this on the end of computers, learning computers, and then learning the software. You don't have to have a lot of computer skill to do it. If you have issues with the computer, then you're going to need to get some guidance. But don't sweat it with the computer. You'll figure it out. Everybody else has got to figure it out. You'll figure it out too. And I'm glad that people ask me though. They say it. They're intimidated by the computer itself and the software. You got a ton of support out here. That'll help you. That's why in the Facebook groups. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've kind of noticed a step up of people helping each other in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on, but it's like
I feel like the community support has gotten a little bit better.
Yeah. It's definitely kind of cool. I'm not sure what it is, but I mean the community is already very supportive. But okay, go ahead.
Real quick, Cody's in here for one, and for two, I just added 50 plus new updated course videos to the course. Lots of great info in there from Kyle.
Okay. Yep. And the other thing with his course, so folks who aren't in his course, he also does things, has a weekly thing too, or the weekly live thing. They work through projects. So he's got a lot of projects that he walks you all through too, individual projects, not just the training. So, so we're taking a look. We're totally taking a look. He's even put together that website, the CNC Hub. So if you're thinking of buying a CNC router, it's a good comparison site.
Yep.
So I like to see that stuff too. It's like Hamilton. Hamilton's building the basically the Etsy for CNC files.
Yep.
But it's very structured. It's not like anybody can just throw any file. They have to be verified files. So, all right, we'll link Kyle's course. He's got like this free boot camp thing. You can try out. So you can just see his teaching.
See how it goes.
Okay.
Hardest part for Jack was getting the idea in his head. Interesting.
Getting the idea in your head, I guess. So the way I'm going to interpret this is you want to make something and you got kind of a general idea, but you don't know what you want to make.
Yeah.
There's the way I read that. That's how I did this project, this wedding project. Let me this thing right here. It was let's see.
Everybody's here.
Yeah. So I started off with just I'm going to make a wedding project, and what am I going to do? Okay, I'll just do an established sign. Shane and Patricia McGowan. That actually looks like a C, but it's a G with that font. And then I just went with the shape. It's such a basic shape that VECTRIC has, and I just used I used a roundover bit, and I used it as a beading toolpath. Didn't just round it over. I actually ran it down deeper, so it created that edge there, that raised edge. That actually gave it a little framing shot. You should. I talk about how to do a beading cut like that in my video, how to use a roundover bit. So we'll link that because that adds a lot more accent to it. All right.
I love beading. I love the rounded bits.
Yeah. The roundover bits they're the ones that take your whole project and just step it up a notch, right? I mean, it adds all the elegance to it. I did it with this instead of a squared off board, and just ran a 1/8 roundover bit right around it, and I just took care of it. Just round it out. It just takes it to a different level. All right, go ahead.
All right. My worst is finding good wood to make my millions of ideas. Yep.
Yeah.
Right there with you, man.
Yeah. Well, we just
finding the right depth of cut for each design. Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm in that struggle right now.
Yeah. If you go too far, you can actually make a project look bad if you go too deep in some things. That was the case. That was the case with this project. It was like, how deep do I go? And that's what I like the rendering, because then I can just kind of look at it and see what it's going to look like. And then I try to look at it in a real world in my head in this way. And then
I have a love-hate relationship with the rendering, because right now it's not changing no matter what I do. And I want it to change, or I want to not see it so I can ignore the issue until it's carved out.
No, that's funny.
I'm like, it's still there. It's still there. But it's great though, because I mean, I didn't have to carve it out a million times to see that. So.
Yep. Greg from STL dropped in. Hey, Greg. Yeah, Ellen said she has a lot of projects waiting in line.
Yep.
And you can't make them fast enough.
No, that's why me and Adam are setting out a schedule of like, okay, this one's going to be, this size of a project. This one's going to be this size of a project. How can we kind of spread out the bigger ones, the longer ones, that kind of thing?
I had to dial it back. I said, okay, I'm going to make very few personal projects, and I'll just do it for videos, because that was locking me up too. Mark said it before, project paralysis. We'll have to start that as a legal medical term in CNC. We'll call it project paralysis dysfunction, or what disorder? Project paralysis disorder.
Yep.
Next.
I suffer greatly. Terry, I'm still trying to figure it all out. I have Kyle's course, but I'm a slow learner. That's okay. And Kyle's course is honestly the best place to learn at your pace.
Yep.
And do the practice work. Do the practice work. He provides downloads. He provides instructions. Do the practice work, because once you know how to use that tool, then you can continue to use that tool as you gain more knowledge and more tools and can use it properly.
Yep. And practice. Get that burnt into your head. I think one of the things that one of the biggest things I think I see in a more global sense is grasping the idea that this is a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill. And every time you get another machine, you're kind of starting from zero.
I'm glad for you to say that, because it feels like it. And I feel weird that it feels like I'm starting from zero. I'm like, I've been doing this for over a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And it feels like I'm starting from zero. Yeah.
You've made stuff on the long mill, then you've made stuff on the alt mill. And now you got a machine that runs completely, like, it just has a different, you're looking at a different screen. It doesn't look familiar, but you're going to get it.
Mark said it good. Just like anything else, there's no replacement for experience, and the only way to get that experience is to do it over and over again. Yep.
Greg says he's starting from zero now too.
Yeah.
Get a new machine. He's got the new shop.
Something called a C12. I'm assuming it's a laser.
Okay.
I know he's done a bunch of rework.
That's the fun part, though. I mean, that's where it gets really rewarding. Sometimes we get into this, and it's like, again, you come in with mentality, and the thing's going to make itself. That's not. I mean, it's nice, but there's not the reward in it. The reward is you're starting to put it together in the software. You're visualizing, you're piecing it all together. Then you're coming up with the toolpaths. Then you're setting the machine up, and then you get to watch it make. That's when it starts to really come together, and that's when it really starts getting rewarded, when you're doing the making, all the concept work in your head.
Yep.
Okay. He said, nope, CNC 12 from Avid with servos. Oh, he's got, so he put.
Okay, the 12 from Avid.
So this one's got servos on it, huh? Wow. Interesting.
Ooh. I'm just going to put this out there. We put the questions in a queue, and so we answer them in the order that they were asked. So we will get to your question. If you've put your question out there, I promise you we've got it. So you don't have to comment it a million times.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. We got
All
it.
right. How can I work with a curved piece? I need to carve it.
Curved as in curved that way, or curved as in bowed?
Is it warped or is it curved?
Yeah. Is it curve? What I think what's one curve is called a kerf. I think that's when you're looking at the end.
Remember, put question marks or question in front of your queries, please.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So if you have a warped piece of wood or something, then there's a couple things you can do. One is, well, if you got a warp in it, you need to get it flattened out. All right. Your CNC is running on a flat plane, so you need to surface it down and get it flattened out. The other thing you can do is get Liberty's machine. It's got that thing where it can. How does that work? What's that called?
Well, once I get the stuff, it's like a
You probe it.
I don't know, a Smart Zero, where you can like move it to each part of it, and dynamic zeroing. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Dynamic zeroing.
Yeah. So you can probe in multiple places on a curved piece of wood, like a wine barrel stave, and it will. You can still create your 2D project in your software, but the machine knows that it has to follow that curve. So basically, take that flat design and put it to that curve, won't it? Is that that's what it does effectively?
Yeah.
Okay. Virtual zero.
Virtual. I think I keep calling it dynamic zeroing, whatever. I don't know why that's stuck in my head. All right. Okay. So Liberty/Garrett, how did you get yours set on the HD 510, or what is it set at?
So first, I'm going to say I had nothing to do with it. We just early last year, I talked to Liberty, and we decided that this is the direction she wants to go in, to content creation. And then we talked, let's get you a machine. And I said, it's your baby, you do it.
And I know I asked at one point for more specification on like what they were asking about. So this might be it. Although I still haven't got the machine acceleration set, I also have the 2 HP water-cooled spindle from Shark. I don't think you can set the machine acceleration internally. As far as like your different speeds. Now you can change your speeds, but I don't remember. I'll have to look back. I have not changed speed settings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, I didn't think so. Frankie says the machine acceleration set from Shark is not available for their machines.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke with Randy Johnson. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking acceleration or if you're talking just adjusting the feed rate, the jog rates and stuff like that. Acceleration is internal to the control.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why Greg said this, but it's a good point to make. He said technically a 3D printer is a CNC machine, right? Mm-hmm. It is. Any machine that's driven by a computer technically is a CNC machine. CNC is numerical control. Basically, it's run by G code or some kind of code that's telling that machine to move around in space. All right, so many CNC machines, so many different styles. In our world, in the three-dimensional world, where we're 3-axis, CNC laser, 3D printer. Technically, in our 3-axis machines, the only difference between the machines is they're all CNC machines. The only thing that designates it as a 3D printer or a laser or a router is what's on the end of the head, and the instructions that are going to it.
what it's giving instructions to. Yep.
Go.
All right. Chris, should I consider purchasing a Shaper Origin? Looks like something I would enjoy as I continue my retirement. That would be a question for you.
Well, so Shaper Origin is a cool tool. It's definitely a cool tool. It's what do you want to do with it? All right. So I have not had a lot of experience with an Origin to say what it's used for, but from what have discovered when I talked to them, did a couple videos with them, they're great for joints, for joinery, and they're great for engraving. And they're actually supposed to be great for inlays, but they're straight inlays. So I would talk to somebody that has a Shaper Origin. I'm not the right one to be asking because I haven't played with it.
Right. Gary Lynn. All the wood I use is repurposed. Square it up, plane it down, glue it up, cut it to the dimension of your project. Fair enough.
You know, some good wood to find is church pews, old church pews.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good lumber. I mean, they got it shaped, right? But that'd be great lumber.
So I saw a comment already, so I'm gonna bring it up too. My wife's embroidery machine is a CNC machine.
Yeah.
I have
those are 2-axis machines. They move like that, but then they got the third axis or the working end is that needle.
Yep. I have one that I need to pull out eventually that is computer operated, G-code. You put in the files, so on and so forth, and then it does its thing.
Yep. All right, go ahead.
All right. Darcy, question. How do you get correct times to be displayed in GSender? It shows 2 minutes left, but only 20% done.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah.
It's guesswork.
You don't listen to what it says.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I've seen the same thing. I'll be running a 3D project and it says I have 5 minutes. Thing runs for 2 hours. All right. So I don't know. I'll have to talk to them, see if they're doing something that can try to interpret that. But you'd have to. That's estimate. Don't count on those numbers that GSender is doing. It's all just kind of estimate. Mm-hmm. I would go with the percentage and not the time. And of course, it's measuring the percentage of G code that is processed through. So what it's doing is showing us
through. How long did that take?
Yeah, it shows that little progress bar at the bottom. And it gives you a percentage and how much time is left. And don't count on the time. That's a difficult thing for them to determine how to set that time properly. I'm gonna, so on the note of concepts to grasp when you're getting to the real world CNC is also when to use offsets. Right, when to offset your lines, like when you're using a pointed roundover bit. Right, you can offset the tool or you can offset the line just a little bit. But if you use a pointed roundover bit right on the line, it's going to leave a little line on the project. Right, so that tool needs to be offset a little bit. Grasping the idea of nodes. All right, why nodes are so important. You're starting to learn them. How far into Kyle's course does he cover nodes?
Pretty early.
I would say.
Yeah.
Robert, bless you. Yeah, nodes are pretty basic. So.
Thank you.
All right, next.
Two Towers Art. Need to make keyholes. I have the bit selected. The tool I selected for toolpath, but in VCarve, what shape do I use? How deep do I go?
Okay. All right. That's a great question. So the keyhole bit, every keyhole bit is different. I'm going to run it through, but it's in my video too. I should have a video on Keyhole.
You do.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah, you gotta know how to use those nodes.
Yeah. So let me bring up VECTRIC. I'm going to open up a new window. A new VECTRIC. Just give me a second while I open this one up. Okay, wait a minute. Where are you? There it is. Okay, it's on my other screen. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick, set up a quick project here. So first of all, when it comes to the IDC Woodcraft, every keyhole bit is, you've got to know the dimensions of the keyhole bit or have the data provided to you. All right, so first of all, let me show you what, I want to show what keyhole bit is. So we're going to go to the IDC Woodcraft website for those that don't know. And okay, so this is come on, open up. There we go. So keyhole bit makes these kind of slots right there for you to hang your projects on, or so you can hang your projects on the wall. And so the keyhole bit has that shape where it basically drills down on the part and then it cuts across. And it's a two diameter cutting tool. And so what's important on this, number one, is to know the height of the big diameter and the depth you're going to go in the small diameter. So with the IDC Woodcraft tool, this one here, you want to, first of all, the way you set that up is, I'm just going to draw a line. So we're going to start a line. Let's just say we're going to put my keyhole right in the middle of the project here. I'm going to click the start button there, or start that line. I'm going to come over to whatever distance I want it. If I want it 2 inches, I'll type in 2 and enter. And now I've, oops, didn't do it. Let me get that again. 2, enter. What's the matter with you? It's not taking it. All right, I'll just click. First of all, I want to find out why it's not doing that. I'm going to go back. Oh, I must not have that thing turned on. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 and enter. So there we go. And then what you're going to do is double back that line back to the start point. So I click right there, and then I can escape. And what that is, you have a line that's starting in one spot and moves over to the other spot, and then it comes back to that spot. And then in the database, let's go find the database. Actually, I'm going to have to kind of change something a little bit on that. So I got it set up as an end mill, but I might change it to a form tool. But for now, I'm going to leave it as an end mill. Right now, so the IDC Woodcraft keyhole bit, the pass depth is set in the database. So the pass depth is 0.35 of an inch. So basically, all I have to do is open this up and go say, okay, this is 0.35 of an inch. So I'm going to select that bit. I'm going to do a profile toolpath. I've selected that. And the first thing I'm going to do is set my start depth to whatever it is. It's 0. And then my cut depth is going to be 0.375. Right. So basically it says there's one pass right there. And what that's doing is telling me, okay, that's the depth we're going. We're going the full depth of that keyhole bit, which is what you want to do. And then you make sure you're on the line, and it's going to use the rest of the data, which is 30 inches per minute. It's going to come all the way down, and then it's going to move across and come back out. So it's actually quick and easy, but you do it in a profile toolpath and set your depth to what that depth of 0.375, or use the database. It's 30 inches per minute, and you'll be set up that way. So it's a good question. I do have a video on a keyhole bit, so it's an older video.
All right, I purchased the edge huggers and replacements and received them. Could use the T-bar slot threaded nut. Can I get it from you or other places? I'm assuming couldn't use the threaded nut.
T-bar.
So he's asking for a nut alternative, if we carry a nut alternative or not. We do not currently. We're working on a different style.
Yeah, we need to know what track you have or what you're trying to put it in. So send us an email and what I want, so we can, because it's a newly developed item, right? This whole edge hugger clamps. So we're working on developing the nuts, right? We've got a working concept for the for your machine, right? For the next wave. And that's going to be an off-the-shelf component, which is good. And then so we need to know what you have for your machine. So send us all the detail you can. I'd love to have a couple pictures. And then your subject line, put the edge hugger nut inquiry, and we'll watch for it. And the best you can do is, the sooner you send that, the better. And ask, just put in that email, see forward to Julianne. Okay, so we have all our emails filtered first, and so the Cami will have that forwarded to Julianne.
Yes, sir. All right.
Okay.
Robert, I have a question on 3D importing. We run VCarve Pro, so limited editing options. I have experimented with outside designing like Blender. Do you have a go-to outside 3D design that's more beginner?
I don't do any 3D design. So the only thing I do is use...
Pop it in the comments, people.
What's that?
Said pop it in the comments.
Yep. I can't answer. I haven't done any 3D design. Liberty's just starting to learn it now, right?
Yep.
So what some people use Fusion 360, but unfortunately that's beyond my pay grade.
All right. All right. We've got Carrie. I was wondering if anyone else does this. I've started using hot glue to secure my projects to the spoil board. It works great.
I've seen many people do that. I haven't actually tried that. I need to give that a shot.
I feel like it would work, especially for just like top VCarves and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You don't have to have a whole lot of resistance that you have to fight against.
Right. Well, so that brings up another thing where people can be kind of confused at first when they get into CNC, right? Is the whole idea of work holding, the different types of work holding that's out there, and when to use the different types of work holding.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for me, I'll use the CA glue tape method, and I use the clamps, like the edge hugger clamps. Those are the only two things I use. I got a vacuum table that I still have to install here, but you have vacuum, right? You've got nails. You can nail it down. You can use hot glue. I don't know. I've seen people. I want to try the hot glue thing. I definitely want to try that. Anybody else use hot glue? What else? And the other one is screwing the project right to the table. That's the most secure thing. Each method of work holding has its risk. So you have to, when you get into it, you need to understand the risks or limitations. If you can't surface a project when you have a clamp sitting on the top of it, right? So that's a limitation there.
Yeah.
And clamps over the top, they can pose an impact risk, right? Vacuum tables, you have to know their holding power, and you have to make sure that they have the holding power. Vacuum tables don't work if a piece of material is warped. They don't work if there's a lot of air that can pass through it. Like if you're using if you're making an end grain cutting board, and you haven't sealed it, the air is just going to suck right through that end grain cutting board, and it'll just lift right off. Brad nails. has a lot of hold. Let's see. What else? Carve it up. Pat doesn't even use clamps.
Pin nails for duck.
Yeah. With the hot glue, making that flatter level. So I don't know. So the concept is, are they putting hot glue underneath it? I don't know. I've never used it. Anybody that's using hot glue, put some comments in here. I'd love to know what you guys are doing.
I would say as far as releasing it, that's a good question. But with hot glue, it's not like the most like long-term solution for a lot of things. So it is fairly easy once it's dry to pop it up, I would say, with like a spatula or something.
I've seen people just knock it off. A
Yeah.
Wandering Star said it'd be great for your warped boards. Ooh. All right, you have a warped board, you're trying to surface it down flat, use a little hot glue to take up that space. I'll have to play with a little bit.
Yeah, it would depend upon how large your piece is as well, and how industrial of a hot glue gun you've got, because it dries quickly. So yeah, probably using it along the edges or on smaller pieces.
We'll play with that and we'll figure it out. We'll watch some videos and do a video ourselves on it. But I'm sure I don't think I've ever seen people do it on the bottom. I think what Mark is, I've only seen people do it on the sides. Composite nails. Anybody using composite nails? Those are nylon nails. So those are you don't have to worry about your CNC bit running into it because it'll just cut the nail, but it holds strong enough. Okay, next.
All right. I'm having problems with the clearing bit splitting small features across the room. So like a roughing bit, I would assume, just like throwing stuff like crazy.
Oh, I'm gonna
Kinda
guess.
does.
I'm gonna guess that he's cutting with the grain and it's breaking off big chunks. Okay. Splitting small feature. Yeah. So, all right. So the roughing tool is an aggressive tool. All right. And if you're working that around small features, this is number one is you want to use the roughing tool around the small features and then come back and rough out everything else. But you also want to be, this is another thing when it comes to the school of hard knocks, right? As opposed to when you're on the CNC and you're learning it, is breaking, the small features breaking. All right. So when you have small features, you have to be more delicate with your cutting. The way you cut the tool, like you have opportunity to go around the small features first and then do all the clearing. That's what I would do. I did a video on how to make sure you get good raised text all the time without getting the pieces breaking away.
They said they are getting pieces breaking away from using maple wood.
Okay, so with the roughing tools, first of all, you want to cut across the grain. So if you're doing a project here and you're going to cut back and forth like that, don't use your roughing tool back and forth like that. The roughing tool, because it's got such a high step over, as it's making that cut, its next pass, basically it's pulling chunks away, right?
It's chewing.
It's chewing it up, right? So what you want to do is for your roughing tools, you always cut across the grain. It won't take those big chunks out. It'll cut the wood really nice. Always go across the grain with the roughing tools. Always. It'll cut so much better.
All right.
Billy McGee threw us a little treat here.
Ooh. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. This money that you guys donate, this all goes into a fund where IDC Woodcraft will match it, and that's where we donate to St. Jude or Purple Heart or Disabled American Vets or what have you. So we're starting to really orient it towards either woodworking support charities, right? Or St. Jude, Missing Alexis, something that helps children. It's generally where we're going, and the local food bank. So Billy, you're awesome. You're awesome. Yeah, Mark was talking about this video I was talking about. Check it out. So it is actually a really good technique to use if you want to eliminate some of that chipping out and make sure your really thin text doesn't break. Wounded Warriors. Yep. Julianne, have we donated to Wounded Warriors yet? No, not yet. Okay. They're on the list. We're good. She's got a big, long list.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. What's the video title? Julianne will get it. It's called How to Get Perfect Raised Text.
All right, Dylan. Hello.
She'll link it in the comments and she'll link it in the description.
Yep.
Once she finds it, if she can't find it, she'll tell me. But she has never asked me yet. What video is that? She always manages to find it on things. So, okay.
All right. Hello, IDC, new to CNC. Yay!
On.
I'm still in the process of making my decision on purchasing. I'm limited on space and debating the long mill, alt mill the Shape Pro 5, and a shark. If Liberty could shed some light.
Okay.
I mean, I can shed a little bit of light with having the smaller CNC. It has a cutting space of 24 by 24, I believe, or like just over that. I think it's weird. But it does take up about 3 feet in length and 2.5 feet in width. Once the machine itself is all, together. I mean, so far I would definitely recommend it, but I really haven't run it through the trenches yet. Their customer service is amazing. Their community is amazing. The tool so far is amazing. I've heard good things about getting a 4x2. So you're still getting a lot of length out of that, but you're still being aware of your space. The alt mill definitely takes up quite a bit of space.
Yep.
Quite a bit of space, quite a bit more than the long mill.
Yeah, with the alt mill, you can anticipate your space need minimum is 6 foot by 6 foot.
Yeah.
Minimum. Talk a little bit, Liberty, about your philosophy and the size machine that you selected.
So if I were to, me myself as an individual in my life, go out and purchase a CNC with the budget that I have and the space that I have, I would be limited to this size of a machine, if not a little bit smaller. And so I want those out there who, like, yes, you desire to get the 4x4 right away, but you really do not have the option. And this is something you want to start doing regardless of, the space that you have. I want to show everything that you can do with that. I want to show all the possibilities, the lack of limitations that you have with a smaller CNC.
Mm-hmm. I like that philosophy. I've kind of always, I've kind of gone, oh, it's not big enough. I need a bigger machine. I need a bigger machine. I actually did go too big when I had the Phantom.
With the Phantom, yeah.
I found my limit. But she's right. All right. It's I can preach all day. Boy, this 4x4 is great. But if you don't have a shop room, you don't have a shop room. And some people don't really need that space. How often have I used a full bed on the 4x4? Never. I want to make an Adirondack chair. I just need the right design that I can fit into a 4x4 piece of material.
Yeah.
There you go. Steve says he has a 4x4, but could do 90% of his work on a 2x4.
Yep.
I agree.
Tiling is going to be one thing I'm approaching to be able to do some bigger things on the smaller machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe if I tile, I would want to do an Adirondack chair on a full sheet, and I have to tile a full sheet.
Yeah.
But then I have to drag the machine out.
Yep. All right. So I bought a Masuder 3S in October.
Okay.
Using VECTRIC desktop with GSender. Can't even carve a circle to scale. Frustrated. Bought a cheap Jamitsu. It's working fine with the same laptop and software. Any idea?
Call the company.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they have the right kind of customer support you want, though. This is one thing. So I will say the one thing you should be looking for, the first thing is is customer support. Customer support is the very first thing you should be looking at when you're getting a CNC. So your Gamatsu, that's great, but they don't have customer support. It's email customer support, but you can't get on the phone with them. The other one, I think that's a Chinese brand too. I'd call the company or send a message to them. Okay.
All right. Just curious from Tim, are the connections on the alt mill snug/tight? The wiggliness of the wires at the connection points on my Onefinity is the only thing I don't like about it.
Yeah. I actually had one connector disconnect on it, and they started to back out. That was about what, a year in, over a year in. So there are a couple connectors that can back out. There's some that are screwed in, and some that are just like press fit on. I kind of agree. It'd be nice if they could do that.
Yeah.
So on that CNC machine where you can't get the perfect circle, yeah, the motor's probably out of sync or probably not coordinated relative to the X and Y, and you can change the step calibration, but you shouldn't have to do that. Right? Not on a new machine. That means you have to get in the back end and start fixing things.
Mark says always check the mechanical first. Yep. Check the motor couplers. One of them may be slipping.
That's, yeah. Duh, why didn't I think that? That's the first thing you do. Check all your hardware. Make sure the couplers, I'll just repeat it, the couplers that are tying the screw to the motor, make sure they're tight. Yep. If it's a belt-driven machine, make sure your belts are tight. One thing that a lot of companies don't tell you, at least the foreign ones, they don't tell you the tension that you need to set the belts at. Timing belts have to be set at a tension. Mm-hmm. They can't be loose.
Steven, I'm really stuck. My long mill runs good for a while, then all of a sudden it stops. I have to run homing and start again. Any ideas? I have set my USB ports to not go to sleep.
I've had that too. It's almost like, this is a while ago. So it would run, and then it's almost like it gets too much information at one time and it can't handle it. One of the other things, static, right? Jack in the shop said static. This is something you want to check for. That was going to be the next thing. So, yeah, electromechanical interference or electromagnetic interference. Sorry. If we're in winter time now and the air is dry, and so you know that creates, it makes it easy for static buildup, and you get static charge that dumps into your machine. right, it's going to send a surge and the machine may quit. I've had that happen with my bobs, right? It just sends a spike at some point when it's trying to do something, and it totally throws it off. So you want to ground out the machine. Make sure it's grounded out. If you have dust collector, put a copper wire around that along that dust collector hose and ground that copper wire.
Yep.
No, Mark is saying that right here. We need to do a video on that, Liberty.
Okay.
Julianne, put a note for that. Just on the video list. Okay.
All right. All right, all right, all right. Is there any basic G codes that new CNCers need to learn?
That's a good one. Okay, you hear G code, but we don't really know what it is. So generally, the your post processor is going to tell you, it's going to set all the G code, but it is good to know the basic G code. I want to do a video on this as well. So the basic G code that I think that you would need to know, I'm going to actually open up in a new document here. And anybody that thinks, put the G code, the basic G codes. If someone's going to have to know any G code, which codes they're going to need to know. And I'm going to type it up here. So
I would say the pause function, adding the pause function.
Mm-hmm. It says G0, G01. Yep, pause is a good one to know. Okay, so let's do this. Jack says G20, G21. Yep, we're going to add that in there. So let's do it this way. We're going to do it. So these are, I'll put it in as modal G codes. G20. I actually love G code, and I think I want to teach people about G code. Okay, so we got G0, G1, G20, G21, G90, G91. Yep. And I'll tell you guys what these are in just a minute. Liberty wants the G4. All right, which is a good one to have. I'll tell you what ones you're going to see in your G code. You'll see G17, but I'll do the modal G18. What I mean by modal is it can be, so there's G0, G1, G2, and G3. And those are modal G codes. In other words, it means only one of those G codes can work at one time. And it's like you can switch to any one of them. And when you switch, then the system's going to hold that G code until you tell it a different G code. Right? So G0 is you're telling the machine to go in rapid. G01, you're telling it to go at a certain feed rate. And when you're giving it a G01, you need to tell it what that feed rate's going to be. So you'll always see in G01, there'll be an F next to it. Maybe, oops, what did I do here? Let's just say 30.0. So that's saying that that's the feed rate, in inches or whatever. M8, M5, M9. So let's see, we got I'm gonna say M2. Yeah, I'll get to so these are the M codes. So you'll hear people call these M codes. But you have M2, let's see, M30. These are both saying that the program's comes to an end. There's M2. There we go. Wait a minute. M3, M4, and M5. Okay, those are spindle commands.
M2, 8 and 9 have also been suggested. Sorry, I was trying to see which ones you hadn't written down.
Yeah. What's 8 and 9? I'm surprised. I completely forgot what 8 and 9 was. M8, G code. Let's see what it says. Miscellaneous function using CNC 3D printing to turn the flood coolant on. Oh, okay. So that's cooling on and off. So Yeah, so M8 is commonly used to turn the coolant on. M9 is commonly turn it off. Okay. So G1 is telling the machine to go rapid. Sorry, G0 is telling the machine to go rapid. G1 is telling the machine to go at a feed rate. You'll see a G2 and you'll see a G3, and that's saying it's going to go into either a clockwise arc or a counterclockwise arc. G20 is the machine's being told to do its stuff in inches. So the G code is going to be at the top. This code is going to be at the top of the G code. And that if it's a G20, it's going to be doing everything in inches. If it's G21, it's going to be doing everything in millimeters. G90 is it's absolute. It's doing it from your 0 point, whatever 0 point you have set for your part. G91 is relative. So what that means, if you have a G91, it's going to reference the position from where it started from. So let's say you have, you're at position X1, Y1, and you're on a G90, and you tell it, I want to go X2, Y2, then it's going to move to the X2, Y2 coordinate relative to the 0, 0. But if you're in G91 and you say X2, Y2, it's going to move over 2 inches and up 2 inches, as opposed to, so it would technically be at X3, Y3 with the G91 command. G4 is your pause command. So if you have a spindle, if you upgrade to a spindle, you need to either learn this G4 command and plug it into your post processor, or be able to type it into your different into your G code file. So that would come in as a G4 and then maybe a P5. And what you're saying is that's a dwell command, and you're telling it to stop for 5 seconds. G17 is it'll do an arc, a circle. It's going to interpret circles around the Z plane, right? So yeah, it's a circle around the Z plane. So whenever a circle command is put in, like the G2 or G3, it will do the circle around that flat around the spoil board. If it's a G18 or G19, now it's going to do a circle around your X axis or your Y axis. I'll have to do a video on that. It's actually kind of hard to explain real quick. M2, M3 are usually your program end commands, and M3 is your spindle on, and it's on clockwise. M4 is spindle on counterclockwise, and M4, M5 is spindle stop. So those are some basic G code commands for you. Yep, G54, G55, G56. Oh boy, open up a whole new can of worms here, Mark. Oh my gosh.
Gary.
What's that?
Gary was the one who commented it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gary did that. Okay. Yeah. Mark said he uses 54, 55, 56. But okay, thanks, Gary. All right, so I'm not going to dive deep into these because I could spend the rest of the night talking about
Right.
it. Yeah, but these are
About nearing the end.
They're work offset positions. I got a video on it.
Yep. Believe so.
I think so.
Mark has several videos on work offsets as well.
Yeah. Okay. So those work offsets that's a really good one to know, especially if you're going to be more productive with your CNC, or even if you're not productive, if you have stations around your CNC. Anyway, okay, next one.
All right. Is there any basic, oh wait, oops. All right. We use VCarve Pro. I think I already asked this one earlier. They already asked this one. Do you have a go-to 3D design program for importing? Okay, that's different from the last one.
Okay. For importing a 3D, I just use, so we bought off of Etsy before. Y'all have seen that alligator, right? That crocodile one. That comes off Etsy. That's probably the most popular selling one out there, whoever did that one. And I think they did a snake now too.
Will the edge huggers be available for Shark CNC?
Yes. Yeah. Once we get those nuts in, we'll have it. We were trying to figure out the percentage of Shark owners that would want that relative to. So I was kind of estimating high 10% of what we get would go to Shark next wave machines. But we'll have it. We'll get it. We'll get them in. We're working on that. Promise you.
After you run home on the machine, should you zero all axis?
Once you run home, once you tell the machine to home, you are zeroing all your axes to the machine, and then you set your zero origin point, right, or your work origin point. And the good thing with that is now you when you home the machine, you always get the machine home reference for that point. So if things die, all you have to do is send the machine back home again, and then go back to your 0 point. Next.
How do you use the macro button in GSender?
Oh boy, I love the macro. That's probably another one people sometimes get hung up on, is what does macro mean? We'll do a couple more and then we'll have to bug out.
I figured we could try and finish up these last two.
Okay. Yep. Macro is basically you've created a couple of short programs that can do whatever you want it to do outside of its normal running. So this macro I have right here, by the way, in GSender, it's got the tabs in the lower right corner, and it says probe, macro, spindle, coolant, rotary, console. And so we're under the macro tab, and there's one here that says bit change. And let me just move things out of the way. And you guys can see my machine in the background. When I hit that, it's bringing the spindle up to the front of the machine in the middle. And that macro is bringing it to a very specific location so I can change my CNC router bit. And so the macro is, I'm going to go into it. And so this is the name I've given it, bit change, and then I've plugged in the code that will bring the machine up to this location always. And so that code, if you have an alt mill, I can give you this code. I'm going to copy it, and I'll put it in a Word document so you can see it. Oops. Control V, there we go. That's the code I put in there, okay? And I want to be very specific about this because you'll do this all the time. So it's G53, Z letter, number 0, Z number 0, G20, right? So what I'm doing is I'm telling it to reference the home position of the machine, and that's bringing the spindle up all the way to the home position. And then it's going to do this in inches. And then the G53, again, I'm referencing home, and it's going to move from the home position X24 and Y minus 46. Now I'm using decimal points here too, and that will bring it up. So the purpose of the macro is to write little programs so you can tell your machine to do some different things. I wonder what other people do. Let's see. Mark named his bit change location park. The bit change one is probably going to be the most common one you'll use. All right. Write down to do a video on macros too, please.
Okay.
I don't think you'll have macros with the next wave. I don't know though. All right, a couple more. If you have limits on your machine. Yeah, it works if you have limit switch on your machine.
All right. Do you have an online reference for G and M codes that you would recommend?
I do not. That's why I want to do a video, because it's
I
not
think I got mine from somewhere on Kyle's site.
okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I want to be kind of careful. I don't want to overload people on the G code, but I think it's really nice for everybody to know it, so you understand what's happening in the code and what means what. So Liberty and I will do a video on G code. We'll talk about it and we'll demonstrate it. Yeah, Larry says, love YouTube for an 80-year-old. Hey, dude, you're young, man. Still baby. I think he's just getting his he's just breaking into puberty. It is. Okay. There are a bunch of online charts for G codes and M codes. CNC Cookbook has one. Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds. You know what? I can actually show you. While Liberty brings up the next question, I'll just show you. Let's see if we can find something.
Do you remember using the M19 command when you were doing machining?
Geez, that's a long time ago. I got M19. I got to look it up. M19. Let's see. So I don't remember it right off the spindle orientation, which tells the CNC machine to stop the spindle and lock at a specific angle. Yes. Yes, we had to use that. So we would use that when we used offset cutters, right? So a cutter would have, when sometimes in CNC, like a thread cutters that cut inside of a hole, it's a round tool, but it's got something sticking out the side. So you can't always come straight down or you snap that piece off. So you have to rotate that spindle to a certain angle and then move it over to the edge of the hole so it would go down and fit inside the hole. And then you can go back and do whatever you need to do. CNC Cookbook is pretty intense. There's so many G codes out there. That's why I kind of hesitate sending someone to a chart to G codes, especially if you're new, because there's so many of them. Mm-hmm. So many G codes. Okay.
That's it.
That's it, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool.
Ready to call it a night.
Yeah, I didn't even get my beer. We didn't do a giveaway either, so we'll have to do that next time. All right, wait a minute. John says he was able to use his edge hugger clamps for the first time today. They're awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. Edge huggers are so much better than all the other clamps. I've got rid of all my clamps. It's just the edge huggers. That's all I got. I mean, they're all in the drawer there, but they're not even on my thing. You'll never use like 75% of the G codes. You probably, well, one thing with G code, if you can have fun writing G code. Once you get to know it, you can actually write your own G code program. But doing things as complex as like tracing around letters and stuff, that can be quite intense.
Yeah.
No, paste it in the chat. Oh, I guess I want to paste my code in the chat. I'll do that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, copy this code, especially if you have the alt mill, right? So this is set up for the alt mill. It's set up for a 4x4 with a homing sequence. And that homing sequence on this one, there it is. It's 2 lines. It didn't come in as 2 lines. It separates the G53. So the G53 in the middle is the second line. The alt mill has a homing sequence in the back of the machine. So it's written based on that when you're using a G53 command. If your machine homes in the front, that won't work. We'll do a video on it. This should actually be a fairly quick video. Okay, let's bring Julianne out. She hasn't come out at all.
We've had her busy.
Yeah, Ben. G53, 0, G20. Anyway, okay. Well, you guys talk for a second. I'll grab my beer.
Fun stuff. Anyway, at least the refrigerator's close in the shop.
Right.
Doesn't have to freeze.
Sorry,
you all
I'm
the way
still
now.
reading comments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this someone sent to me like 4 years ago. They made that bottle opener with the compass rose on it. Oh yeah, I like that. Of course, I didn't need it. It's a twist off top. Okay.
This is interesting.
What's that?
I was just reading this question. I have a cheap $300 entry-level CNC with NEMA 17 stepper motors. I've recently bought a Donek drag knife, and I'm having trouble cutting through 2 to 3 millimeter leather. Is it possible I'm limited by my motor size?
Not the motor size. Let's see. NEMA 17s, they'd easily be able to handle that. Now, what? Yeah. Cheers, Caesar. It might be trying to. If that motor doesn't lock when it's in position, it can actually push itself back up. Depending on how your thing is put together, there's drive screws on it and whatnot. So you might need to go into the back end, and there's a. I'm too burnt out on this now, but there's a setting in the back end where you can lock the motors. So when they go to position, they'll hold it, they'll keep power on it and keep it locked. So that's probably what's happening, and it's just pushing itself back up. Sir, good luck surgery on Friday, Gary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, when I was visiting Mark yesterday, can't believe it was just yesterday, Mark. Already 2,000 miles away from you. He was telling me about someone who did a table saw accident and hurt themselves really bad. Always be careful with your tools, folks. All right.
Need to provide more than that IDC Woodcraft first aid kit.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe we need to start pushing that. Julianne's the one that got it. I'm kind of looking at it going, okay, because I let her do set the whole merch part up. All right.
Took a while.
Has anybody bought anything else like that?
Yeah, we've had a couple orders off of it.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if they've got their stuff yet, but yeah, there've been a couple.
Okay, y'all. Let me show you. Just before we check out, I want to share my screen, show you. First of all, there's a picture of me with Brother Mark yesterday at lunch. That was such a good visit to get like face of the name, or actually be there. Okay, right on the homepage website. There you go. Looking for IDC Woodcraft merchandise. Julianne set all this up. All right, so this is her baby. So if you ain't buying from it, you got to answer to her. Right, so she got the aprons here, shirts, hoodies, and where's the shirt for kids? Right, nice jackets. This company's got some really high quality stuff. There's the IDC first aid kit.
Does not come with beer, sadly.
Yeah.
Maybe an alcohol wipe, but that's about as far as it goes.
Hey. Cool. Okay. So there you go. Go have fun. Get something. Hopefully, we all gave her a list. I don't know if she's ordered it yet. She's been pretty busy catching up after holiday. Well, holiday kept you really busy too.
I was gonna say holiday sales were busy. End of month financials, end of year financials.
Yep.
I'm still finalizing stuff. So, and then I got to get ready for our tax time and get all that. So, fun times.
Need an IDC snow shovel.
We could CNC one, get the rotary axis going.
Oh, there you
Here we
go. There you go. All right, before we bug out, so when you're talking about the financial stuff, just let people know kind of what is the brain scope that when you're doing year-end financial, right? And you're getting all the numbers for the year, you got to deal with the accountant, you got taxes. I mean, I don't even know what all is involved in that. That's why I hired you. And I have an accountant.
Good thing I have a partial accounting certification then. No, it's quite a bit. Mainly figuring out, finalizing our budget and future planning for that for the year. It's just I don't know, and then working on our nonprofit dreams. So yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. So it's a lot of bookkeeping.
Yeah, no, there's bookkeeping. We have not.
We will resume.
What's that?
I said, to answer that question, we will resume.
Yep.
I had it set up ready for tonight, but it's okay. You guys, Garrett got back. He's tired. Liberty's been out sick, so we'll let them recuperate, and they can have all the energy next week.
Right. Yeah, Joanne needs a raise. Joanne got a raise.
Vacation.
She does need a vacation. Yeah, was I talking to Mark? I think I told Mark, my daughter wants to go to Harry Potter World. By the way, Mark is in Florida. And Julianne wants to go to Harry Potter World. So,
honorary family shoe-in. I'm being adopted.
Yeah. All right, we're going to check out, guys. We will catch you next week. I'm going to be on Andy Bird Show tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yep. We will shoot an email out with a link for that for you guys.
Okay.
So that's at noon Eastern. So.
All right.
Catch us again.
Okay. Good night, folks. We'll see you next week.